So here we come on sprint number 1. And the sprint number 1 is all about what companies expect you to know if you're working as digital media professional. Time and again, as I said, when we look at that what companies expect, they have always seen that there's a gap when they hire any digital media company, the agency, or if they are doing the recruitment, they have to make them more, in our terms, as we say, objective driven. So most of these digital media professionals are really cool about the technical skill set or algorithm driven skill set. But when it is more about that, do you understand that why we are going for any digital media campaign? Do they really understand that it is more about, as an organization, I am expecting you to understand, one, can you help me to impact my top line? And when we say top line, it is about, do you understand that what are our objectives in terms of sales, in terms of lead management, lead generation? If not that, we talk about, we don't want sales driven approach, but we want more marketing driven approach in terms of brand management. So when we're talking about total brand management online, do you understand as an organization what I'm expecting from you? I'm not expecting just algorithm driven exercise to be done online, but I am surely looking at that, do you understand that what is total online brand management all about? Or if I talk about another objective, I might be looking at that we want to get into community engagement, or we want to build our online communities of users. So do you understand that what that objective is all about if we have to realize it by having a digital media campaign in place? At the same time, when we are looking at all these objectives, there's one more critical area that most of the digital media professionals miss, and that is about, as an organization, am I more a B2B company or a B2C company? So B2B is more about business to business, B2C is more about business to customer. And while doing that, most of the time it has been assumed that the organization is totally ready with the full end-to-end plan to be implemented, which hardly is a case. And that is where, in short, we call it C-suite framework, is to be understood what an organization is expecting out of you. So what is the C-suite all about? It is more about right from the very first C of concept to the last C of having the credibility enhancement in place. And while working for different clients, that's what we realize, that when we're sitting with any chief marketing officer, chief digital officer, or the leadership council, they always expect that if it is there in place, this will work for us. If not, then you could be very good with, as I said, the algorithm driven PPC, or you could be more driven with the SEO, but then that may not fetch the right results. So if when you are looking at the framework to be implemented, most of the companies expect you to at least understand what concept line of business that organization is into, how well that concept can be translated into a context of a business plan or the overall scenario that organization is into. And if that context is there in place, is there a right content strategy that is being derived out of that business plan? And when the content strategy is there in place, that is a time when you get into the communication mode. And that is where you have to be very critical about that concept has been now translated into the 5 different vehicles, modules of communication. Once you are able to put them in place, that is the time when you get into another C of communication, taking you to the level of coverage. Now, coverage could be global, coverage could be local, coverage could be more segment specific, or it could be more demographic specific. Then the time comes when you are able to get into, from coverage, you get into the level of credibility building. And there comes certain concepts very handy to you, right from online reputation management to personal branding, or to look at the image management. The credibility is there in place. That is the time when the client gives you or the company gives you a thumbs up that now you are all set to get into the areas where you can really help us to do our business expansion. And that is a framework that all companies want either the digital agencies or the individuals to know about. So if I have to put it into perspective, it is about marketing management, it is about the social media, another piece, it is about search engine marketing. Blend all the three into a typical layer of a business pyramid where you have the base of it, which is totally operational in nature, complemented with the mid layer of functionalities in place, complemented it with the strategy that is there around it. Because now, when organizations are working for them, digital media is not just marketing. It is about for the HR, it is about for finance, it is about the personal branding of leadership council, and at the same time, it is about pure sales driven or marketing driven initiatives. So it could be impacting the overall traction for that organization or overall branding for that organization by building, say, online communities. Or at the same time, it could be really helping them in having those user groups in place that itself would be impacting the top line of the organization. So companies expect a very simple thing from you, that can you impact the top line? If not that, can you help to optimize the cost of the top line by having some more cost effective online marketing strategies in place? So offering them just PPC is not a strategy. Offering them just search engine marketing is not a strategy. However, somewhere giving them the right inputs about how a lead gen can be done with the integrated approach of social media block to search engine block and the marketing management in place is the strategy. And to make it happen, it's a hygiene that you need to know that there is a C-suite framework. Most of the CXOs talk about it. They could have their own version of it. Just that we need to understand that if that strategy is there in place in terms of C-suite framework is what an organization will be expecting out of you. Thank you so much. This was our first sprint. I thought let me discuss more about what companies would expect. This is what they would expect. And my dear viewers, if you really want to be a real asset to any organization, you really need to work on all the facets of C-suite framework. See you soon. The second sprint will be coming to you. Thank you.